Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions. I'm your boy, the real Josh T, and wow, haven't seen you in a little bit. You're looking great today. It's great to see you. We're all happy to be here. So, what's this whole thing about? Well, this is Rare Drop Roleplay. I'm J&J Tabletop. I'm the real Josh T. With me, I have Jake, J&Jake _ from J&J Tabletop. Mr. Yoda _ I am. We have Izzee, and we have at It's Evbo, my friend Evan. And these people are just wonderful, fantastic friends. Some people call us the super friends, and we just get together and we just, play some games, and everybody has a good time. But please follow all these wonderful people on all of the social media things throughout the episode. It'll all, just kind of flip through, and you'll be able to see what to do with it. But everybody, we took 2 weeks off. I'm feeling well rested, a little toasty in here, but how are you guys doing?
Pretty hot.
Yeah.
I being in the south right now, I think my setup is a little more equipped to deal with it. But
My AC keeps it a cool 71 all day long.
Evan's gonna kill you. Oh my goodness.
Nah, dude, I'm just ready to play some D&D with my friends.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, I hope you are doing great tonight. Like I said, I'm the real Josh T. We do this thing called J&J Tabletop. As Jake and I, we just record some fun videos every week. Some of them are like teaching you how to play TTRPGs. Some of them are like, here's some concepts you could use in your tabletop RPG game. And some of them are like, hey, would you like to make a character but you don't know where to start? Here's some ideas so you could make an excellent character. That's the kind of stuff that we do. And then, everything in between all that. So if you're interested in that, do Command J&J. That's the letter J, the letter N, and then the letter J in chat, and then check us out. We do YouTube videos every Wednesday, and then sometimes we switch it up too and do it on random days. And then Sundays are today, where we do Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions, and we play this wonderful game of D&D. Aside from just like temperature and everything, does anyone have anything they want to shout out? Just give me a thumbs up if you're good.
I was gonna say, is he gonna shout something out? This is gonna be great.
Actually,
Yeah?
Oh.
I want to shout out this
Oh boy.
right now. What's happening?
Thanks.
Yes.
Awesome. Nia, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you're here, then you know that this channel is called Rare Drop. Rare Drop does some... They do all sorts of crazy fun stuff. If you want to check out what they do, just go to raredrop.co, and they have everything on there. Guardian Con coming up soon. You should definitely check that out. They have a really cool thing, and it's going to be happening in space, which is freaking cool. If you want to catch up on past episodes, just go over to Spotify and look up Rare Drop Roleplay, and then you'll find our show, and you will also find Reckoning Hour, which is the Tuesday game hosted by Captain Robert. Jake, what video did we do last week?
Real quick, was that a jackass sound effect that I just heard? It was, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So anyways, actually we had a couple videos released since we were off for a couple of weeks. We did our very first creature feature, which I thought was a lot of fun. The whole concept behind this series is we take a creature in the monster manual, and then we look at 5th edition, but then we also explore past iterations of it, so 4E, 3, 3.5, even back to when I started playing with 1 and 2, and just go over how kind of the lore behind them, and how you might be able to implement them in your games, and just talk about it. So the first one we did was the Will-O-Wisp, which is one of my favorite monsters. And sorry, Izzee, if that brings up any bad memories. You know. Yeah. That's okay. So that if you want to know what that's from, you'd have to watch our Dragon of Ice Spire Peak playthrough. But we also, I did a video this last week. Go ahead, Josh.
Speaking of Dragon of Ice Spire Peak, though, if you want to watch us play, watch us play. But if you were going to run Dragon of Ice Spire Peak, Jake put out a video where he did like kind of like a DM's guide to Dragon of Ice Spire Peak and gave some tips and everything for running it. I believe it's going to be a series that you'll have going on.
It is.
And yeah, so if you're planning on running Dragon of Ice Spire Peak, or you are currently running it, or I mean, if you're going to be playing in it, please don't watch it, because just don't do that.
Yeah,
But-
spoilers. You know, the way it goes. But yeah, that's cool. We also, I have another one that's going to be ready to go soon, I think, for one of the adventure modules. Like Josh said, it's going to be a series. But then also this week, I did a video called Great Sword versus Great Axe, which is the old, which is better, 2d6 or 1d12? And, well, just like everything in life, the answer is it depends. You have to watch the video to find out the rest. Yeah, that's what we did this week.
Very nice, very nice.
Are we hopping into the lesson now?
Well, first, I subbed to Soy Boys. Would like to know what this song is called.
This song, okay. The Bannered Mare.
The
This is
Bannered
from
Mare.
Skyrim.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, I think let's hop into the lesson.
Let's do it.
Before we get in, if you're a long time fan, if you've been here for like a while from day one, you've probably heard us talk about this before. But we figured we have some new faces in here. We have some people who've never played the game before, and they started late and then didn't catch up on the old videos. That's totally fine, because it's a lot of hours worth of videos. But if you're wondering like what this game is and how to play it, well, we figured we should just kind of rehash that. So, Jake, you want to tell us about the lesson today?
Yes, this lesson idea was Josh's idea to go back to basics. And we have a command, because sometimes people will come into the channel and not understand what Dungeons and Dragons is, and I'm just going to read what the command says. Dungeons and Dragons is a collaborative storytelling game that uses dice to determine the outcome of actions that are not guaranteed to succeed. That is obviously painting with an extraordinarily broad stroke. Kudos to Owen for teaching us how to do that. Cool story, Bob. Anyways, and basically, you're going to notice this rhythm of play, which just repeats over and over and over again. The first thing is going to happen is Josh is the dungeon master, and he is going to explain and or set a scene, whether he's saying it's somebody's turn in combat, describing something that our characters see, hear, whatever that is. Then, after that, the four of us are going to most likely ask questions, or maybe try to have him elaborate on something that might interest us or our characters, and then he will hopefully have an answer to those questions. If not, he will probably make it up on the spot or say, hey, I don't know. And then we will, as the players, actually interact with the scene itself. So maybe that could be one of our characters casting a spell or making an attack or picking up a rock. Whatever it is, depending on the scene that he has described, is what's going to happen there. And then after that, Josh, as the DM, is going to tell us what happens. And if the outcome is not sure, just like the command says in chat, he's going to have us roll some dice to see how it goes. And then you're just going to continue to see that over and over and over again, just rinsing and repeating. And actually, Command Lesson has a link to the very first video that J&J Tabletop ever made, which is called How to Play D&D, or Learn D&D. I forget exactly what we called it. But
How
Josh-
to play D&D, and then the thumbnail says
Ah.
learn D&D 5e.
there it is, okay.
Yeah.
But you know what tomorrow is, Josh?
Monday.
That's true, it is Monday.
I think I know what tomorrow is, actually. What's tomorrow, Jake?
There it is. Tomorrow is actually the 1-year birthday J&J Tabletop. That's when we released our very first video. Actually, we released 5 of them that day. because we wanted to have a little landing spot, so you get to see us figure out how to make YouTube videos and all that fun stuff, and then tell us about how we're weird in the beginning and how we're still weird now, but it's better weird than it was.
That is absolutely wild.
Isn't
That's
it?
that's crazy that it's been a full year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say about that. How have you guys put up with us for this long?
I don't know. But speaking of birthdays,
Oh boy.
it was Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. Josh's birthday was on Friday, so I know
I'm
Nia
pretty-
said it in chat earlier. Spoil my surprise. Go figure, Nia messed something up for me. You know, this is the way it goes. But
Ooh, jeez.
she's rough in chat when you're streaming a game. Just saying. But yes, Josh, happy birthday, my friend. Always a good time to celebrate your friends, and this time, it's you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. And I'm not using it yet because it's been a whole ass week. But these crazy awesome people over here bought me a new camera. That's nuts. So, cheers to you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you so much.
Only have
Anytime
one.
I give the intro and I talk about how great they are, like, you think I'm probably just saying that just to say something because you have to say something to start off, right? No. All of these people are incredible and I love them dearly. So, I'm just
Love you too, brother.
I'm just creating an item that I was supposed to make 2 weeks ago.
So I'll just continue on a little bit then. During tonight, the Rare Drop editors love it when you guys clip your favorite moments from the stream, because then you probably will actually get to see it featured on Rare Drop on Twitter, Instagram, all the stuff there. Head to raredrop.co. I'm sure you'll find links to everything there, probably down in the About section on their Twitch page right now too. But yeah, if something strikes you as funny, odd, cool, weird, maybe I made a really bad dad joke, I know that's hard to believe, you know, you could clip that. Maybe Josh does a fun voice for an NPC, anything like that, clip that, and you know, fun stuff there. And then the next thing says recap. Josh, I mean, should I do the recap?
Do you want to do the recap?
Do you remember Matt used to make us, like, we'd have us all roll, and whoever had the lowest would have to do the recap?
Yep. And then the one time he did the opposite, and whoever rolled the highest. had
Yeah,
to
and
do
I
the
was like,
recap?
natural
Yeah.
20. He's like, okay, you're doing the recap. I can do the recap. You still working on the item?
I think I'm done with the item, but if you want to do the recap, like, I'm here for it. I think
my
sometimes
gosh.
it's fun to hear from someone else's perspective how we did it. So,
Good God. Okay.
do you want to do it or you want me to do it? I was prepared to do it, so I'm fine to do it. But if you want to do it, I'm
It's a
I'm here
cliffhanger.
for it.
The DM should set the tone for the cliffhanger.
Okay.
But if ever you want to randomly make me do it, that's fine with me.
Alright, okay. So we'll keep that one in our back pocket for next time then. Alright. Well then. I'm excited to make you guys just wait. Anytime there's a cliffhanger, I love just messing with you.
Yeah, you suck.
Fun.
We did
love you
weeks
and
of
just-
waiting. Get it
Yeah.
on already.
Hey, that wasn't all my fault. Alright.
Life happens.
Well, is everybody ready? Let me take a sip of my water here.
Oh my gosh, he just wants me to do the recap. That's all this is.
Wait, actually, hold on. Okay. I have my players threatening me in chat right now. Where we last left off on ancient relics and Hokey religions. Our group of adventurers had been through a very difficult time. They had a very difficult journey through the Savalier Wood. They faced many evils and monsters, monstrosities, and just nasty things to get to the city of Molesmere. When they were there, they traveled down below into the ranks of what at the time might not necessarily have been an enemy, but they perceived it as an enemy, and they went into the ranks and did a really good job just sneaking in and doing their thing. And they led an expedition down below the city into the study and secret chambers of an archwizard who's very powerful. They found a secret door, found a secret place, they found a secret and powerful item. And after a whole lot of stuff that I don't need to get into, they were left for dead in this place. Having nowhere else to go but down, they continued to travel through the caverns underneath Molesmere. After days of traveling, they fought a massive monstrosity and this hive lord and all its little babies, and they came out victorious. They actually did amazingly well, and soon realized that they were going to be in this place for a very long time if they didn't do something about it. Well, Vale made a call for help, and his call was answered. He was told to convince his friends to swim down below in this underwater lake and just keep going up through it. Took some hard work and convincing, and Mac might have done the brunt of it. But together they all traveled through into the icy water and emerged months later in the middle of the Savalier Wood, just north of Molesmere, along the Boreal River. They got themselves dried off. They continued traveling through, and they found the home of Owen, who was the man of the wilds. They were a little unsure of Owen at first, but quickly they learned that this was a place where they could feel comfortable and they could rest. They took a few days and got some rest and had some difficult conversations with each other, where Vale had told the group of a deal that he made to protect them all. There was some conflict, and that might not be over with yet, but they seemed to be on the same page. They took a day of mourning with Owen and remembered all who they had lost in battles past and in wars past and present. And just before they moved on, Owen gave them, by them I mean Owen gave Vale a new bow, and much to his chagrin, he gave Echo a new staff. Feeling full, I'd like to think. They continued on and to their trip to Bisis Teal, where they hoped to learn a little more about the artifact they found. And shortly after traveling through these woods, an elf came out of a tree, looked at the group, and a familiar voice to at least one of them said, "Hello there." As you turn around and look, you see a creature who looks very similar to your friend Vale. Is slightly taller, slightly tanner, wearing what looks to be studded leather armor. And
Well done.
he just stands there, looking directly at Vale.
How far away is he from me?
About 10 feet.
I think Vale's head immediately would just snap around because he didn't hear him originally. But
If I remember correctly, Melly was the only one who heard him coming.
okay. Vale's face just like lights up. Just says, Carrick, and he just walks right over to him and hugs him.
Yeah, he'll give you a hug back, a good squeeze.
It's not like extended, but it's like the 1, 2, 3 pat. Like
Yeah,
it's good to see you, brother.
it's good to see you too, brother. What brings you this far north?
Well, we were, you know me, and I'm always interested in the ruins. How about you?
The usual glass blade things of the sort. And who might these friends of yours be?
Yes, and he just turns around and he gestures, he points over, gestures to Echo. And he says, this is my friend Echo. He gestures to Mac, says, this is Mac. And then here we have Melly. They're all
Thank you.
talented individuals in their own way. And everybody, I want you to meet my brother. This is Carrick.
He will walk up to Echo and shake his hand and say, Echo, it's very nice to meet you. Do the same to Mac, shake your hand, give you a nod, and he will walk up to Melly and do the little like kiss your hand thing, just say, and why would any of you possibly want to be in my brother's company? And he'll have like kind of like a sly grin on his face. Not like, he's not trying to be a dick, but he's not trying to be a dick, like he doesn't mean anything like serious behind it, but he's teasing for sure.
Just see Val shaking his head behind him.
Someone needs to make sure he doesn't make any stupid decisions.
You could try, but as well as I know him, he'll do what he likes.
Yes,
He has
well,
certainly proven to be a very reliable traveling companion, so we're glad to be here with him. Can't imagine being without him.
Val smiles. Yes, well, yes. How's mother, father, and Vanny?
Mother and father are well. They just keeping on. They love to hear stories of beyond the wall and things of the sort. Vanny, well, you must know she left a long time ago.
I'm sorry, I haven't been home in a while. What happened? His face,
would've-
like his brow furrows.
Well, I would have thought that she would try to come find Big Brother and follow in his footsteps. You know she always looked up to you.
Vale's eyes like look like they're darting back and forth, like kind of just like looks off to the side. He's like staring at the snow. How long ago did she leave?
That'd have been at least a year ago.
You say she went to Shady Creek Run.
How should I know where she went, brother? She wanted to be her own woman and make her own stories.
Just to be clear, this is completely new information for Vale, right?
I think you would. Well, why don't you roll a
boy.
d20 for me?
Okay. 18?
All right. Give me one quick moment, and I will tell you
Oh god, okay.
what that 18 means. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh boy. This is...
You have heard stories. I just okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. So you have heard rumors of a shorter elf who really they've only ever referred to as the Whisper. She fairly new to her profession, but she has taken jobs of theft and burglary and all things of the sort, and there's been the rumor of even the assassination here or there, and no one has ever caught her in the act. They've only heard but a whisper.
I think Vale would mention that.
Yeah, so like you've heard those rumors, and now like knowing that your sister, who is fairly talented, was in the same region as you, you're kind of like, oh,
Could it be? Yeah, okay.
it might run in the family, you know.
Yeah. Okay, well. Oh. A year ago.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Valentinius, you said you went to Molesmere, the city.
We did,
Did you go inside?
In a manner of speaking. It's quite dangerous. We actually had a lot of difficulty just getting over the wall itself. But that's not something we really talk about. He just giggles a little bit and looks at the rest of the group. Kind of sheepish. Is that where you went? And actually, did you have a companion with you?
He'll just say, brother, you were trained. Of course I had a companion. And you hear like a little like rustling in the bushes, and this dude's gotta be like maybe 4'10". This short, stout, dwarf with a long brown beard that's just knotted, and it has all these like twigs and pieces of leaves and like all that kind of stuff in it. Just walks out. Says, well, of course, you could never travel alone.
Someone needs to keep an eye on him. You seem to be capable.
Well, it certainly looked, I think so.
Vale just walks over to him, extends his hand, and just says, call me Vale.
You can call me Teddy. And he'll grab your hand, and why don't you make a strength save?
Oh, God in heaven. Okay. That's not too bad. 15.
Yeah, he like squeezes the crap out of your hand.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get like hurt or anything from it, but you're like afterwards, it's one of those where you're like, like
Yeah. Like, okay, guy. Vale just kind of... He gives like a just an ever so slight like head tilt, like a really.
And he'll give you a wink, and he'll look at the rest of the group, and he'll just say, well, there's no reason to waste time with introductions. I already heard all your names. I'm Teddy. It's nice to meet you.
Is that Terry or Teddy or Tarry or Taddy? I'm sorry, I haven't, is that a rude question? And he's like getting pretty sweaty.
His name is Teddy.
Okay. Right, hello, Sir Teddy.
Little one, I'm not nobility. There's no need to call me sir.
Just, Terry, then.
I love it.
He just kind of looks at you like, and shakes his head for a second. And Carrick just kind of looks at you, and he'll just say, well, where were you all heading? I was planning on going to, we were just heading back to Uthadon.
Well, we were heading the opposite direction. I've never been to Bysaeus Teal. And my friend Echo here is from there. Figured it might be interesting to see what the other side might know about what happened.
Sure. It's a very long journey. Surely it would be easier to travel with us back to Uthadon and take a teleportation circle to Bysaeus Teal, save you the trip through the seas. Do you have a vessel?
Well, actually, is it in sight yet, Josh? Or we're still following the directions, right?
You're still following the directions?
We do have a vessel. We haven't seen it yet. But we were going to take the river and go that way.
It's got to be at least several weeks' journey.
You know what? Let me talk to my friends here and see what they think. I'll be right back. And
Sure.
he just walks away from him. And just brings everybody outside of earshot as best he can. And just says, "It's something we should pursue."
I thought our intent was to try to stay outside of
Right.
certain eyes as much as possible.
We don't have to tell them anything. It's just a thought, really. Because if you think about it, you'd have to take the raft all the way around to get to Bysaeus Teal. But this would go right, and he just gestures along the river. This would go right to Uthodurn, and then we could... It'd be quicker, actually.
Is time of the essence at this point?
Not necessarily. I just figured this is why we could talk it over.
I think that our best chance might be to lay low. I know we were talking about the fact that us being gone for so long means that some people may assume that we're not alive anymore, and I just worry that traveling into a well-populated area where I don't know if they communicate with any of the people that we saw in Malaysmere.
We don't have to do this.
I would just say, I would just say, if Meli is referring to like, do they have ties to the Dwendalian Empire and like that whole group of people that you saw? Vale would definitely know that the government of Uthodurn is kind of like isolationist, where they absolutely are not tied with the Dwendalian Empire, and they also try to stay away from the Kryn dynasty as best they can as well. That they do what you do. That's information you would know. So.
So I'm not remembering clearly. Did we not see glass blades in Malaysmere? No? Okay.
We saw Imperial soldiers, and we saw people from the Cerberus Assembly.
Right.
Righteous brand soldiers, some sort of cultists, and then exactly what Jake said, agents from the Cerberus Assembly.
Okay.
Unless they've infiltrated Uthodurn, they're not affiliated. Anything's possible when magic is involved, though.
Not really sure what the best call is. I mean, Vale, these are your people, so unless you think it's safer to go the long way around, I don't know why saving a few days wouldn't hurt, but I don't think we're in a rush.
No. I'd like to maybe learn a little bit more about what happened to my sister. Kind of looks at the ground for a second as he's thinking. But
whatever you think is best. Like if you think that that's a good option, and even if it is for those reasons, that's completely understandable, and from my side, I'm okay with that.
Would Val know where the teleportation circle specifically would link to? Like, is it just each town kind of just has its own like hub, or is it like inside a secure faction headquarters or something? Or
I mean, you would know that like the Glass Blades have access to one, and like pretty much like you don't know how many there are in the city, but like there's more than one. And you know, typically there's just like some sort of fee associated with it, or unless someone just lets you use it, which also happens. You know, people trade favors and things like that, or you just get a good word from someone.
So do I guess this would be a good question then. Would Vale think that he would have to owe someone something for doing that? Or is it just like, it's Carrick's brother. Just
It's
send them
like,
on their way.
as far as the glass blades, if you were to use theirs,
Is that
I
what Carrick
mean-
was offering?
Carrick just said use a teleportation circle. He didn't necessarily say the glass blades.
Alright, I guess maybe I misunderstood.
But you also didn't ask.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would. I think it would totally depend on the situation and in which you used one. Like, if there's a like $50 gold fee, then yeah, you would owe someone $50 or 50 gold if $50 gold fee. Is that what I just said?
Yeah.
If Carrick just puts in a word for you, which, as far as you know, he's pretty popular, so that's definitely not outside the realm of possibility.
Okay.
And then someone might also just like ask you to do something first. Oh, you want to do this? All right, then. Like, you scratch my back, then I'll let you do this.
I got you.
There's a bunch of different, you got options.
Yeah. So Vale just kind of nods. Maybe I'll ask a little bit more questions. Brother, are you saying that the glass blades would just let me use the circle?
Valentinius, you do know who I am.
Yes, brother, I do.
I can be very persuasive.
Does Vanny send word home? Have you been gone for long?
Well, I've been gone for about 8 weeks or so. It was a long trip. Longer than I had anticipated.
Did you go to the ruins as well?
We didn't go inside the city, but we did investigate near some of the ruins.
Something I should keep an eye out for?
Well, he just kind of like looks at you and like he's trying to like read you, and
Val's just
He-
curious.
yeah.
I mean, he's the look he's seen a million times.
yeah, and he kind of just he'll just say, well, you are my brother, and Vale, you know I will always love you, but you are not a glass blade anymore, and you spent so much time in Shady Creek Run, I just don't know if I should tell you. What was the nature of your business in Molismia?
Val just smiles, just that, like, very similarly to the way he smiled at Vale's friends when he said what he said. As you know me, I'm always poking around in things I shouldn't.
Well, it's nice to see you
understand.
haven't changed.
I understand.
Perhaps we could.
I'm gonna say, was the Empire involved?
When you say that, he kind of like he's like taken aback for a second, and he kind of just and he looks over at Teddy, and Teddy kind of looks over at him. And before Carrick can even say anything, Teddy just kind of takes a step closer to you, and he just says, "Now, what would make you ask a question like that?"
Because when we were there, we saw them. He just looks at him and kind of shrugs.
Well, when we were there, we saw them. How long ago were you there?
Something actually, he just looks back at the group like we've been trying to figure that out a little bit. It was just to make sure I get it right. It was like the middle of fall, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably like 2 months, something like that.
I think it's been a couple of months.
You think?
A long story.
I hope you haven't been hitting the old leaves again.
No, it's not that.
No, not spending too much time with the spice.
I wish it was that simple. We're actually not entirely sure what happened, which is part of why I'm asking.
He says, well then, you've not grown sympathetic to the Empire in your time south, have you? And he's very serious when he says this.
Hal's face goes like you crazy? He's like, no, not even slightly.
All right. Well, there were 4 of us. We were on a routine, and like as he begins to start like explaining, you see Teddy kind of like take a step to Carrick and just kind of like grab his arm, almost to be like, dude, what the F? And he'll just say, he'll just say, Teddy, it's all right. He's my brother, and he was to be one of us. There were 4 of us. We had traveled down just for a routine exploration, supply run, you know, the usual. And well, we were down by a little north of Molismere, and we heard these noises, the loudest noises I've ever heard in my life. They echoed through the forests.
Let me guess. Booming noises of some kind.
Yes, exactly. When we continued through to check it out, we came across a group of Righteous Brand soldiers. They were just north of Molismere. They had a camp right along the river. There's my notebook.
It's right there.
Interesting. Yeah, you see it now?
Perfect.
It's right there.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, it's all right.
How embarrassing.
We stumbled across their camp, just to see what was going on. I've never seen the Dwendalian Empire cross through over the mountains. It's very strange. And I'm sure you're aware of this, that the Dunrock Mountains, it's kept us separate from their regime for forever. But there they were, right outside of Molesmere. One of my men went in to speak to them and gather information. And they killed him on the spot. We didn't expect such violence. Of course, we tried to prepare ourselves for it, and which is why we waited away. We went in to try to save him and bring him out, and well, the smell of sulfur reeked in the air. There was smoke
Yes.
above. It's almost hard to breathe. We did our best. We took out a few of them, but there were too many, and there was one who was an expert mage among them.
Hmm.
Well, she
Were they assembly?
well, that would make sense.
We saw them too.
Hmm.
They had those sticks. And I don't know what it was. Some kind of advanced archery.
Never seen anything like it.
No.
They-
I'm so sorry, brother.
Thank you. But this is our duty. This is our burden. We were traveling back north to warn the rest of the glass blades what was happening. Teddy and I, after we escaped and got our bearings, we actually went back to see their camp and try to get a note of their numbers and how many there were, and see what we could learn. But they were gone. There was no trace of them. It was like they were never there.
You said there were 4 of you. Did something? His eyes kind of go back to Teddy and back to Carrick. Like,
Teddy is like he's been looking down like this whole time and it clearly looks uncomfortable.
yeah.
And he just looks up to you and he just says, I don't care if I have to fight through every last one of those dwindles. I'm going to get the bastards that killed our friends. I will have my revenge, and they will have justice. And
So they were on the riverbank, and then when you went back, they were just gone.
Gone.
How extensive of a camp was it?
well, it was just some tents.
Right.
Probably could have been pretty quick to clean up, but there should have been remnants of the fire or footsteps or something, but
No trace or indication of where they went.
No indication of where they went. But if I had to guess, it was crawling back through the Dunrock Mountains to report back to that bastard in charge.
Well, I think Belle just like looks back at the three of you and just says, I think perhaps it might be better to not pass that way, just in case. Kind of is like not wincing or grimacing, but just like, what do you guys think? Kind of a look.
Really
He's
not
looking
sure.
at the three of you, I was gonna say. Yeah.
I guess no matter which path we choose, there's going to be some sort of risk.
Always.
But maybe the more familiar route would be the safer possibility.
That's what I'm thinking.
And it might save us a little bit of time, right?
Probably.
I don't know. I don't have any objection either way, I guess. I just if we are able to use the circle, is there a circle in Baestiel that connects, or is it just we're hoping for the closest town? And if we aren't able to use the one in Uthadurn, then we're going very much out of our way.
It is the opposite direction. Is that something we would know, or would Val look at his brother at that point?
Carrick says there, if you were saying that loud enough for him to hear it, I know before you peeled off to the side, but Carrick would say there is a teleportation circle in Baestiel. You would be able to travel there. And if you have any more information about those righteous brand soldiers and the Cerberus Assembly, well, brother, I know your involvement in our organization hasn't always been the best, and not your favorite relationships. But, well, we would greatly appreciate anything you could do to help us and give us information. As soon as we return to Uthadurn, I plan on reporting my findings to the commander, and I assume we'll quickly report to the crown as well.
Vale, I think Vale's expression would kind of harden up just a little bit. Yes, it's true. It's not exactly my favorite thing to be around. I don't know the full extent of why the Empire was there, but they clearly have some kind of advanced fighting abilities with this boomstick, is what we were calling it. Sulfur smell. Bill just kind of looks up at him and he's like, would Vale feel like he could, how much does Vale feel like he can trust his brother?
In what aspect?
Like if Vale, okay, actually I think you and I somewhat talked about this a little bit already, but like if Vale were to tell him not to tell somebody something, does he believe he would do it? I'm thinking the answer is no. Or it would depend, but
so it would depend. Would depend on what you told him and if he thought it was like too important for him to not share with like someone who could do something about it, you know?
Mhm.
So like
I got it.
he will treat you with respect, but duty is very important to him, and he
So-
wants to do what he feels is right.
Well, when we were inside the city, it seemed like they were searching something. They were held up in what I think may have been some kind of grand hotel or estate, perhaps. Obviously abandoned. I'm not particularly sure on everything. Guessing they were looking for something just like everybody is when they go to Malaismere.
Tell the truth.
What's that?
I said, are you telling the truth?
I mean, I'm not telling the whole story, but that's...
That's fine.
I don't know the particulars exactly. Even though I kind of do know what's going on. So it's up to you.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
Because of the nature of the information you're giving him, like it's so... He just wants to know. He's going to take anything that you're going to tell him right now, and not really second guess you unless you told him something crazy.
So, okay, just to go over a couple of facts. You said the Empire almost never goes up here themselves. And they
Never,
brought the
ever.
And they brought the assembly. Brother, they had mages with them. Whatever happened there, some form of arcane power was involved. Perhaps they found something, or some lead. And if they sent their soldiers there, it was probably big.
The only reason they would ever risk the journey through the Savily Wood is if they had definitive proof that they could use or find something to give them an advantage in their war. It's the only way.
And was the war official when we did our time warp? Or was it just brewing? Or
It was like brewing, and there were like little pockets like here and there. You definitely would have heard about. Melly absolutely would have heard about in her travels through, in her road trip across the entire continent.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait to do a single session and hone in on that.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, you would have noticed that he referred to it as the war.
The news has been obviously somewhat hard to come by. That's official now, I suppose.
It is official. The Kun dynasty and the Dwendalian Empire are officially at war in open warfare.
Is
Where I
one
see
side
it.
or the other have the advantage?
It has only just begun, brother. I would say the Dwendalian Empire has the advantage, at least when it comes to numbers. But the Crown have always been resourceful.
Well, let me just talk to my friends and see what we're going to do again. I'm sorry. And just pulls everybody aside again. Okay, so
So secretive.
just looks over and smirks. Just to the group, he says, "Okay, so if we head past Malaesmere, the potential for them to find us is much stronger than heading to Uthadern. But
From
Yes,
what
it
it sounds like, though, they left Melasmere in a magical fashion.
it's very true. And then the other way, my brother he's a sharp one. I kind of think perhaps for his protection and everybody's protection, it might be best if we don't go that way. I feel like if we do go that way, we have to be okay with this thing falling in their hands. What does everybody look like right now? Like Vale is like, the silence is like driving him crazy.
Melly is chewing on the inside of her cheek and
Yeah.
like she looks very undecided, but
At the moment, I'm not willing to give it up to any entity or government until we know more about it and what it actually is, can do, if it can do anything.
Well, no. What's y'all's passive perceptions?
Mine is 16.
14.
13.
11.
Say Mac notices it first, but you hear something like rustling through the brush and the snow. You don't like see exactly what it is, but it's like coming at you fast, and then suddenly you see this deer run right past you, in like a rush. It's probably like 10 feet away from the four of you. It just runs right through, and you notice that there's a trail of blood that is leaving in the snow behind it.
Which direction is it coming from?
It's coming
Malaesmere
from
side?
yes.
Vale snaps his fingers and has Aula pop up. And he just looks at her and asks her to fly up and in that direction to see if she can learn what the heck is going on.
The direction following the creature, or
Where the deer came from.
where it came from. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Aula heads off in that direction.
Perhaps we should take cover.
What are the chances that it's rain? I know.
Not high enough.
Aren't we on the other side of the river, though? I mean, not that she wouldn't be able to cross the river, but
We're on the south side of the river, right? We're south of the river.
You are south of the river, but the river kind of like
Oh, that's
It-
it forks.
yes.
That's what I think you might have meant, Michael. Okay. Perhaps we should take cover. And
And you know that there are some like one there's spots where the river is like it's kind of shallow, and then there's also spots where like whether it's a man-made crossing or just like a tree knocked over or anything like that, there are spots where it gets like pretty thin and fairly easy to cross. But still, I mean, that's
yeah. Bale's looking for a spot to hide.
Yeah, Echo's doing the same. How far is Carrick and Teddy? Like, I don't think we went very far away.
I would say probably like 20 or 30 feet, something like that. Does that sound fair? Like enough for you guys to feel private, but not enough where you're like really far away?
I think so.
All right. I think as soon as Vale says take cover, Echo's gonna try to do the same, but then also, while like kind of, I don't know if anyone catches it, but he taps his temple and points to the two, to Carrick and Teddy, and then just does it. So his eyes go purple, and Carrick hears in his head,
"Someone is coming. Take cover."
He kind of like, you see on him, I mean, the first thing you notice is that he already has an arrow notched in his bow, and he kind of like looks like taken aback for a second, makes eye contact with you, gives you a nod, and then you hear in your head, "Way ahead of you, my friend. My new friend."
Echo will nod back and then try to hide with everybody else.
Ellie will also hide.
Roll stealth checks.
$28.
17.
Natural 20 for 27, baby.
I feel like Mac quickly like whatever he did, like there's a snowman standing next to you now.
Yes.
You don't see Mac, but there is like a snowman.
Yes. This is Max Snowman. Hiding king. Anyways.
Melly got an 18.
Dang. All right. Let's go.
Yeah, everybody seems really well hidden. And some time passes and nothing happens.
No Aula?
Aula, you haven't heard from her yet. I mean, if you like do your like work thing.
It's only got a 100-foot range.
Yeah, you haven't heard from her.
Yeah. Does Val have an idea where... Is everybody kind of together-ish?
Seems like it, except for Mac, who just like disappeared.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'd be content to wait a little bit. Unless it becomes like, all right, nothing's gone then. But
After a couple minutes, you just hear like a just like a little like whistle. And if you look over, you see Carrick, and he just kind of gives you a nod, like he's gonna go check it out, and he just begins to walk away slowly.
Bill
In the
takes out his
direction-
copper wire and just casts a message to him. It says, "Brother, I have eyes in the sky. Taking a look. If you want to wait, you can reply."
Is it 25 words? Do all your friends have the same power? If the one side is fine, I'll go after the deer.
I'll cast it again. All right. No. My little friend, a little different than me, but similar.
You don't get a response yet. Actually, what's the time limit on that? I don't know if there is one like written in there. I assume they have to respond immediately because
Just here's the message and can reply. So casting time of an action maybe within a round. I don't know.
yeah, I'm gonna say they have to respond immediately.
120-foot range.
So Carrick continues off in the other direction, following the blood and the tracks.
Should we follow, or should we head the other direction?
Well, in the other direction, there's something that's hungry and looking for a meal, so I don't know if that's the safest option.
No word from Isla yet.
What were your instructions for Isla, to let you know like if she saw anything, or to?
Yeah, and then just come back. I mean, nothing crazy.
Yeah. How long would you want her to search her? Go ahead.
Hang on, I'm just thinking about because as an action, I can make the familiar disappear. I think with wherever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and then have her reappear next to me. So I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Just have her reappear back here and just telepathically ask her what she saw.
She didn't see much of anything. Just exactly what you'd expect. Trees. Followed the river. She went down pretty far. Not anything out of the ordinary.
Not much to go on. Follow my brother. I don't want this, whatever may be coming, to come after Owen. How close are we to Owen?
Probably like, I don't know, like somewhere between like 5, we'll say like 6 to 8 miles away from Owen. You traveled an okay distance. Still close, you know, all things considered, but
I think it might be wise to follow your brother. I agree with Melly. Running toward the danger is probably not worth the risk. And I don't
Yeah.
like the idea of us all being separated.
No. I'm going to have Isla perch up in this tree for a little and just keep watch. And we can follow. Wherever you are, Mac, I think we're going to follow my brother.
Just kind of like come back out.
There you are.
Is Teddy still over here?
Yeah, Teddy pops his head up and he's like, "That bastard elf just likes to run off and do as he pleases.
It's a family trait.
Hey,
They do that.
Well, shall we see where he went off to?
Granted, as I say that, I kind of like glance down at my hand for a moment and then just kind of like look away.
Oh my gosh.
oh boy. So, yeah, I mean, you could. It's pretty easy to track a deer in these kind of conditions. There's snow on the ground and it's also bleeding. So, and also now you have another set of footsteps nearby. But make a why don't you make a little survival check?
Alright, is Melly the one that's been doing those? Or
Whoever feels like doing it.
I think that's gonna be Melly who feels like doing it.
Hell yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awful.
well, I wasn't helping, so no advantage.
It's only a 10. Sorry,
10?
guys. Yeah.
That's all
I'm
you
fine.
need. Yeah. I was just curious who would be leading the way. So, yeah.
I will
mean, you're-
say, when we follow, Melly's gonna put her feet into the footprints of Carrick as she walks.
Go single file to hide our numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, I'm jumping from foot to foot because I'm sure his strides as he was going after it were a little long.
yeah, Teddy is just
Yeah, you don't care.
like he's just stuffing along. He doesn't. He's not trying to be discreet.
Is Teddy also
Um,
in studded leather, or is he something else? Like, what's
He-
he decked out as?
He does honestly. It doesn't even really look like he's wearing armor. He's just kind of he's got some like heavy clothes on, with the markings of Uthadern and the glass blades and yeah, you continue on and after we'll say like maybe 10 minutes or so down the way, you find Carrick kneeling down over an animal, and there's like a fair amount of blood all in this area, just covering the white snow. And he'll kind of he'll hear you coming and look back and just say, well, I put her out of her misery. It was I put him out of his misery. It appears to have been injured with something. Almost like it got hit with an arrow in the wrong spot and just kept running, and whoever was after it just didn't bother to follow through
But you didn't
Treat-
find an
treat-
arrow?
and the animal with a little respect. I did not find an arrow.
Where is the original wound? Vale kneels down by the deer with him.
And he'll kind of like he'll point it out on the deer's body, and it's like it's toward like the shoulder area, but not really close to
Yeah.
the vitals.
Based on Echo's experience on the bridge, do we know about bullets? I feel like you.
Echo would know what the thing looks like that came out
Oh,
because he caught,
you caught
two
it.
of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He didn't keep them. He dropped them because he was just more focused on.
Sure, but I would
taking care
imagine
of
there was a
business.
moment where maybe that was just discussed. Like, with
Yeah,
I'm
well,
thinking Vale might
I'll-
look at the wound.
I don't remember it being discussed.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
But if you're looking at the wound, I'm sure Echo is watching.
So that was going to be that was actually running through Echo's mind as this was all being said.
Vale, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, it could have been those boomsticks. I believe the thing that came out of them was just a ball of some kind of metal.
That's exactly what I was thinking might be the case. And he tries to look at the wound. How deep does it look? Like, does it look like?
I mean, not crazy deep, honestly. Like, if you're, why don't you roll a either a medicine check or a survival check? I assume it's gonna be medicine.
Both the same for him.
Oh, wow,
That's 3.
3.
2 + 1.
Echo would like to help.
I was thinking Vale was going to either take an arrow or a dagger and try and just see if he can stick through and see if it like feels like it hits something that might be metal instead of like bone or flesh.
Okay, well, in that case, why don't you make a an attack roll?
Yeah. Okay. That's a 14.
Yeah, you kind of like look through this little wound. There's dried blood like all around it. It looks almost like it started to like scab over at one point, and then it was bumped into something and ripped open again. And as you kind of like dig through, you see that the bone is cracked, and there's something stuck in there.
Is it something that if you could cast Mage Hand or like just take the tip of an arrow and work its way out?
You'd probably work its way out, yeah, if you tried.
All right, I'm gonna do that. Take an arrow. I'm guessing an arrow would be easier. I
Yeah,
don't
sure.
know.
Yeah, so you kind of dig at it for a second, and if anyone nearby is squeamish, they're probably like, "Ooh,"
Yeah. Like
Teddy
maybe if I was
actually kinda
there.
turns his head for a second. He's like, and you're able to dislodge something that was stuck in there, and it's this kind of round like piece of metal. It's fairly soft metal, and it's almost like at one point it might have been a perfect sphere, but now it kind of cracked and there's like pieces off of it, and when you touch it, it actually leaves like almost leaves like a residue on your hands.
Echo. He just kind of holds it up. Think they're close. He just kind of tosses it to him. I don't know if he wants to catch it or not, but
He puts his hand up to catch it, and then halfway through the throw, like, no. Just like reflexively goes to catch it and then pulls his hand back.
Yeah.
Like, ew. I think you're right, but I don't think I heard. I mean, those things were loud.
Yes, they were. This was scabbed over. This could be... I don't know how old of a wound this could be. Day or two?
Oh.
Maybe?
I might have been able to tell you had you not cut it apart where you did.
I'll just kind of like gives him side stink eye a little bit. It's just like, well, we did confirm that it is the Empire, or at least someone with those weapons.
Is that where that came from?
That's what I think.
It's the only thing I've ever seen like it.
Amazing. Such a small object, able to create such damage.
Yes.
Should we eat it? The deer. It feels like a shame to just
It's,
let it perish without purpose.
I agree.
Eric looks over at Melly and he's like, I do agree. If nature is meant to suffer, we should at least do it justice of making use of everything and not wasting.
Well, I think perhaps under these circumstances we should go to Uthadern with you. I don't want to run into the Empire.
Well, brother, I would be happy to have you join me for the journey, and I promise not to. I'll keep your involvement at a minimum. But like I said, and any information you can give will. It's going to help.
Well, for now, let's see if we can get this deer ready to go.
Melly's already, like, once he was done, she was in it. She's field dressing the deer.
She's too cool.
Roll survival for me.
The 14.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. You're able to clean it up really well and get all the meat out of it and would you want to try to like get the pelt or anything like that, or you're just in it for the food?
Do we need warmer clothes?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time for it to dry, but
mm,
I guess like if I can get it, I might as well. There's no reason to leave it if we can take it.
I'm gonna say you do that, no problem. Like it's actually impressive. Like they didn't even notice you were doing that at first, and they look over and you're like 60% done. And Teddy has been watching the whole time, and he's like like a little bit disgusted, but at the same time, like very impressed.
Only scene I have in my head is in Game of Thrones when Tywin Lannister is talking to Tyrion. He's just doing the thing there. It's like the first time you meet Tywin, I think, but Ellie's cool.
Not the first time she's skinned a deer.
Hey. Nice. While we're doing that for a second, let's take a quick break because we haven't taken a break yet. It's pretty late.
All right.
Evan, I made that staff for you and then saved it,
Okay.
and then it
It's
deleted
dead
it
now.
immediately afterwards.
Okay. I mean, unless there was something else, because you did tell me, like,
So
what it was.
I added a +1 staff to your inventory. If you want to use that for now, it should be in there.
Okay, I may have to like reload then. I do not see it.
Or if you guys want to just
probably
talk
all.
for like a minute and a half and I'll fix it.
Yeah,
Then
I mean,
when
look,
you recreate it, Josh, and put it in there, the other one will show back up.
probably.
Yeah,
That
right.
may
Definitely.
or may not have happened to me like 3 or 4 days later after I did that with the
Listen,
one I got.
D&D
Yeah,
Beyond
dang.
is a wonderful tool when it works.
Mhm.
It doesn't always work. It's fairly easy to use, but sometimes it's like it decides to just be like, nope.
Okay. I see the
Homebrewing
+1
is a
quarter
lot.
staff.
Especially home brewing, to get that right is not easy.
Yeah.
You have templates that you can use, which is helpful, very helpful. But it's not always the way it goes. But just like the thing says on the screen now, you can see our character sheets by using our commands, which is right underneath our names now. Yeah, Resort, I feel that. But I think if you did want us to RP a little bit, I Vale would, as he said, I think maybe we should go with you. I feel like Vale keeps looking at the three of you for confirmation of this being okay. And I feel like there's not much in the way of a response so far. Except Melly's kind of said, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll say, Echo feels like it's just information overload, where it's like, let's go this way. Oh, well, we can go that way because of this, and we can't go that way because of that. And all right, yeah, let's go over here. No, that makes the most sense, but we can't go there because, it's just, he's just kind of like,
Welcome to Vale's brain.
yeah.
He lives there.
But yeah, I mean, if Vale is continuing to, if you're talking about doing this now, if he's looking to Echo for,
Just like at least he's
something.
like speak now kind of a thing.
Hmm. Yeah, I think he would probably just take a deep sigh.
Yeah.
And
This is a lot. This is a lot, Vale. But if the Empire is out here hunting, that's a pretty dangerous position for us to put ourselves in. And as much as it makes me uncomfortable to go to this place and potentially put something in, let's say in a potentially compromising position, I can't help but be incredibly nervous about that. But if it's at least a way to get us to Bysaeus Teal safely, if not quickly, I really don't know what choice we have. So I think you made the right call.
Kind of what I was thinking. feel like Mac is acting like Michael in this episode, just kind of just watching. Like
It's one of those things where there's no way to know what the right choice is.
yeah.
Just have to make a decision and go with it.
Mhm.
And hope it was a wise one with the outcome.
Yeah. That's true.
With the information we have, there's no way to know which is going to work out better for us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a gut feeling on this one, I'm okay with that.
If this is a conversation that we're actually having, Vale would just kind of nods. Wish I had a gut feeling. Kind of all he says. Anyways.
Carrick is again. He's just. Oh, I'm very pleased that you'll be joining us.
We do have a watercraft. At least access to one. Although we did tell Owen that we were heading the other direction.
Did you say Owen?
Yes. That's how I knew you had a companion. He said he saw
Owen.
you a couple of weeks ago.
Man of the wilds, Owen.
Yes, he's
That's
got big
the-
curly hair.
Cabin in the woods.
An older human, yes.
He's helping you.
He said we could use this boat.
He just kind of looks like, takes a closer look at you now, and he just says,
A wry smile starts to just crease up on the side of one of, just like his picture right there, on the side of his corner of his mouth.
Is that a new bow? Is that
It
what I think
is.
it is? He did not make you a bow.
Vale just summons it to his hand, something his brother's never seen him do before, and just holds it out.
May I?
Yeah, he holds it out to him. He's offering it to him.
Grabs it and looks it over, and he's like, unbelievable.
Don't stretch
Well-
it too far. You're a little taller than I am.
He doesn't pull it back. He just kind of inspects it, and he just kind of hands it back to you, trying not to look too impressed. And he will just say, "Well, congratulations, brother. You will never find a better bow than the one you have right now."
We actually heard about him from, I'm not going to believe this, a group of tabaxi that we spent some time with.
You spent some time with Tabaxi.
It was not the easiest thing I've ever done, I should say. But actually it went well, all things considered.
Brother, you are full of surprises. I would have to say that the success of that encounter must be, at least in large part, due to your company. Any of my
It's-
negotiations with the Tabaxi have turned rather aggressive, unfortunately.
It helps when you rescue them from a group of goblins, but yes, I think my companions deserve the lion's share of the credit.
Are we walking and talking? Like, has a decision been made?
You
Are we
were
just-
like, I mean,
Are
You're
we
either
just
still working
standing?
that deer, you're either still working the deer, or we're moving. I don't know. That's the way I saw it.
Okay.
But
So, I mean, I don't know. Whenever it sounded like a decision was made as to which direction we're going in.
unless you have a reason not to, I mean, that seems to be the way we're going.
Yeah, no, Melly's voting for Uthadern.
Okay. So yeah, it seems maybe we're just following the directions down to the boat then at this point.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so you just continue to head over to the water, and it takes a little bit of time, but once you get there, you're kind of able to see like a much bigger space. You could see all the way down the coastline. It's not like blocked by trees and that kind of stuff. And roll a perception check, anyone who wants to look for the watercraft.
You know, Val's not going to say no to that.
21.
Ooh, nice.
17.
Yeah, 16.
Melly's not looking for it.
That's even better. I'm good.
Yeah, as you all look around, Echo kind of notices it first and points it out, and there's just this like exquisite, just like it is an incredible boat that's there, and it's like he said it was just like a raft type thing, but I mean you could probably fit 10 people on there. Like it's nice, you know. It's like everything else that he's made.
It's Owen.
Yeah, it's like it's as good as it could possibly be.
Yeah. Well, I actually forgot this, but Vale is proficient with water vehicles. So.
I know you forgot that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably didn't.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he knows how to use a boat, so he's prepping and doing all those things.
And Carrick will just kind of look over and just say, well, this certainly beats our transportation down this way. That Owen really is remarkable.
He truly is. Very kind soul.
Indeed. He's never made a weapon for a glass plate, but he has always been helpful in every other aspect.
I think he's concerned about. I'm assuming he's. I don't know if we're underway or still getting there or whatever, but
Sure, we'll say that you finish up getting ready and are able to kick off.
he struck me as someone who really is not keen on war. And you know, I don't think that was. He was very particular about why I wanted the weapon and what I would do with it.
And what will you do with it?
They'll just like cocks his head, like, brother, I'm here to protect my friends. I'm not. It's not. I have no like nefarious goal. or anything like that.
I'm not helping you bring spice into the city, am I?
No, do you want to search my bag?
I'm sure I wouldn't find whatever you have hidden in there anyway.
It just says, no, you wouldn't.
Kind of shakes his head.
Yeah.
You continue.
It's good to see you,
Continue.
brother.
It's good to see you too.
This thing is going to cut down our travel time significantly.
Oh yeah. Oh, there it is. I'm flipping out, like looking for my music page, and it's on my main thing right now. Yeah, so I mean, you continue on through the river, and Vale, why don't you roll for me some sort of watercraft check? What do you think that
Okay.
would be?
I guess it depends on what I'm trying to do with it.
Just trying to steer and guide everyone through the river on like a trying to make it a smooth ride and not really like bouncing around and whatever. You're trying not to get anyone seasick.
All right. I'm guessing dexterity then, if I'm like steering.
That's fair.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's plus proficiency, so 23.
Yeah, you're able to do that pretty well. And as you continue on through the Oriel Omen River and into the Ivory Lake, and once you get past the river and onto the lake, like it's just a beautiful sight. It reminds you immediately just of one of the paintings of that Owen had shown you. And it's just a very nice thing to see. So as you continue on, your brother is going to look at you and just say, "You do remember the way home, don't you?"
Something I would never forget.
Glad to hear it. And he'll just kind of take a couple steps away from you and leave you to do your thing and steer the boat and all that. He goes over to let's let the fate decide. Goes over to Echo and just kind of stands next to you and just says, "So, how'd you get tied up with Valenthinius?"
Valenthinius. Well, I suppose in a way he kind of got tied up with me, and then I got tied up with him.
Oh my.
So I was just traveling from Bicey Steel to Shady Creek Run. Without getting too much into it, I was asked to go there. So, as I got close, I was taking rest by a river, and some strange man approached me and asked if I needed some traveling company, and I thought, why not? So, do I regret it? Sometimes. But your brother's a good man.
Well, very glad to hear that you feel that way. He has his own way of things, but he tries to do it right.
He certainly does have his own way. But yes, at heart.
Anyone have anything they want to do while we're traveling, or should we just continue through?
I can't think of anything I'm all that interested in.
Yeah, nothing in particular.
Yeah, I would say nothing. Just traveling.
All right.
I would definitely keep an eye out for like just if we can see either of the coasts, just kind of keeping an eye out for anything abnormal.
Sure. Roll perception.
That is a 24.
You don't see anything just yet. And as you continue through, Vale takes the boat through past through the Ivory Lake, and it looks like you're going just like into the heart of like the mountain, like you're going straight to the mountain, and then it kind of like curves down a little bit, and you see that like there's this cave looking thing where the mountain just goes up over you and the water continues on through it, and Vale steers right towards that and into it, and you go on through, and for a little bit you're like completely surrounded by stone, and I'm sure that probably triggers something for some people after what you guys just went through, but it's only like that for maybe 10 minutes or so, and then you're through the front of the mountain. And Mac, what'd you roll on your perception?
24.
Okay. So you reach the space where the water ends, and so you get that, you all get off your boat, set it up to the shore so that it's gonna stay there and everything and be fine. And Mac notices pretty far away, probably like about 100 feet away, he sees a goblin just up on a ledge, like kind of far up, and like it's a lot of the goblins you've seen like had like kind of like a greenish hue to their skin. These ones are like pale white, with these like gray and bluish like war paints kind of on them, and you see it just kind of like looking right at you and just staring at you.
Is there just the one, or is there more than one?
Right now you just see the one.
It looks like there's a goblin up there, and would I be able to tell that he was like looking at us, or that he had noticed us?
You'd be able to tell. He's like staring right at you, almost like
And
challenging in the way that he's looking at you.
And it looks like he's noticed us. I don't know if there's more than just him, but
How out of is that?
It's not like, I mean, the fact that it was like staring at you. Kind of weird, but like you.
But it's not like that's Phil
like-
the Goblin that's always waiting for people to come off the boat, right?
No,
Like-
no.
Okay.
It's like goblins are common in the Flatkit Alps. You know, like the specific breed of them that just kind of live up there in the mountains and in the snow. That you know that you definitely see them from time to time. And Carrick will after Max says that, Carrick will kind of look at Vale and just say, well, brother, I know you're not a glass blade, but goblins this close to Uthadern are it's never a good thing. Everyone on board with investigating a little bit.
Of course. It's odd for them to not really hide. Almost like maybe he's trying to bait us.
Does certainly look as though he feels strong and powerful. I've seen them raid hunting parties in small villages on the outskirts of Uthadern. Let's see how strong.
Nobody speaks Goblin here, do they? He's staring right at us too.
Are you asking them? Or like, what do you?
That was just me asking my fellow players here.
I do not know.
Yeah.
So
Do any of you
he's
speak Goblin?
Unless
as
they're considered an animal.
no, that's offensive.
Oh no.
Carrick is just gonna say, Goblin, yes, of course. And he'll pull out an arrow and just fire off an arrow at that goblin that's 100 feet away.
All right.
And
When he does that, I glance at him and go, maybe I speak Goblin too.
and let's see how well he does. Un momento, por favor.
Goblin died that day. There's a very good chance of that, Skelly.
Let me see. All right.
Love the ambiance.
That is ambiance brought to you by Sirenscape or Sirenscape, depending on how you're feeling. This one is the mountain sound, although it kind of, I feel like it doesn't really sound like a mountain, but I'm into it either way. All right. So, he rolled a 21.
I'll do, pig. Unless we really need to run from this goblin.
And let's see. And I'm sorry, I haven't looked at this character sheet in quite some time. All right. He will deal 10 piercing damage to this goblin as it just kind of strikes it right in the chest, and the goblin falls down from its place, and you see it just kind of fall and like from its perch that it was up on, smack into a rock, smack into another rock, and land.
Shoot first, ask questions later, I see.
Carrick will just say, "Well, I think he got the message."
Vale scowls at him.
Mac may have chuckled just a little bit at that.
It's just he'll kind of be like almost like confused, and he'll just kind of like look at you and just be like, "Brother, you have to know that these tribes of goblins they haunt the woods, and they haunt the mountainside, and
Just like the Tabaxi hunt
Try
us,
to-
huh? Isn't that right? And then he just starts to move forward. And
I've never said that Tabaxi hunt us."
he just moves forward to try and investigate.
Just kind of look at Mac and just be like, yeah. So you're able to get over to it, and once you get over and kind of like inspect the body, you see that it's got like a crude dagger, not really in great condition. It's like jagged, it's made from bone, and it has like on its little like a pouch on its belt, it actually has one human scalp in a pouch.
Does it seem fresh?
It seems pretty frozen.
Fair enough. Are there any signs of other goblins or anything else about?
Not in that area on the bottom of the mountainside. I mean, like if you were to climb up a little bit and see what's beyond, there might be something, but
I was gonna send Isla up there, fly up, and he'll look through her eyes to see what he sees. Particularly where the goblin was perched.
show. So where the goblin was perched, why don't you make Isla do a little perception check for me?
Okay. I believe she gets to do it with advantage.
Sure.
You're saying because she's an owl.
Sure.
All right. That's a 14.
14?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just give me one moment.
Okie dokie.
Where the hell is it?
Hey,
Guys, it's like 1,000 degrees. Not good. I know I'm preaching to the choir, Evan, but
Melting. Melting.
I feel slightly warm, and I didn't want to say anything. Not a lot of ventilation in
Alright.
this room.
so Isla gets up to the top, and as she reaches this perch, she sees like a very small little like area with like some tents and things, and there's actually some smoke rising from them, and she sees a couple goblins kind of pacing around the area.
Dale just puts his hand up. He's still warging in through Isla, and then he just starts tapping his head. See if Echo will. I guess he's not looking at Echo because he can't see through his eyes and everything like that. But he just.
Yeah, I mean, if Echo's there, he probably would have seen it because he was making a point to see what Bill was doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he will do the thing. His eyes go purple, and he says,
What is it, my friend?
You just hear as a reply. I think there's some kind of camp up ahead. And I'm just gonna have Isla kind of just fly up to get a little bit better of a bird's eye view so he can look at it, get an idea of the scope.
The scope?
Yeah, just like how many, like, is there like a ton of tents? Is this like a war camp, or is this just like a little village, like nomadic settlement?
So it looks like some sort of nomadic settlement. There's like maybe like 10 or so small tents, and there's like smoke rising from them, and like really paying attention, like you kind of see the smoke over the little cliffside that the goblin was hanging out on.
Any idea of how many goblins? Both numbered, both armed and total.
Isla sees 5 goblins walking around the camp, just kind of like looking through things. All of them armed.
Do I get the impression that this is not a goblin camp?
You do get the impression that this is not a goblin camp. Like the
Oh, I'm sorry. If you mentioned that, I missed it.
the tents are like on fire. There's smoke rising from the tents.
I didn't put that together. Okay. Does it look like it's an elven camp?
A goblin camp.
Thanks. So does it look like it's an elven camp or a dwarven? Or just hard to tell?
It's just tents.
Okay.
Isla's not that cultured.
Val can see.
I'm kidding. But it's just tents though.
I got you. So if Echo's still listening, he says that I see 5 of them, and it looks like they've attacked something.
So, this is not their camp.
I don't think so. How difficult would it be to climb, or how high of a face are we talking?
Probably like 40 feet up, something like that. For the average adventurer, might not be terrible to climb. For you guys and your experience with climbing, who knows? It might be a deadly encounter.
Only one way to find out.
I think Val would start to try and climb.
And one thing I would also say is that Isla would notice that, or you would notice looking through Isla's eyes, that one of the creatures that seems to be kind of like leading the way, leading the charge in there, is a hobgoblin.
Oh, okay. Once he notices that, I think he would maybe stop. also hobgoblins, I think. I think Vale would start to climb this cliff as if he can.
Sure.
I would
Yeah.
try to climb it also.
Roll an athletics check.
Yay! Oh boy.
That's a 3.
Natural one!
Amazing.
Unnatural 1. A 2 minus 1.
Oh my gosh.
We
climb!
At least we rolled it on our first roll and not like our fourth roll.
Melly, what you got?
No, they're just like doo. Climb right up.
No, Melly also got a natural 1.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh!
Guess what I just rolled, rolling 2 dice. 2 dice.
2 and a 1.
2 1s. 2 natural 1s. What? 2 dice at the same time, both
That's
natural.
Cliff is
4
not
of
meant
the
to be
6.
climbed.
4 of the 6 results were a natural 1.
The only ones that didn't
And a dirty
were the
one.
ones that the only ones that didn't are the ones that could have re-rolled a 1.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Wow.
What are the odds?
Amazing.
I think it's safe to say it's like a little icy on the cliff face.
I mean,
Yeah, everybody starts to climb, and somebody grabs something up top, and they think it's a pretty sturdy place for them to hold on to, and it is just not at all. They grab this rock, and it just kind of starts this little like slide of like all these little tiny rocks just like falling down the way, and you all of you just fall down, and you also make some noise when you're doing it.
yeah.
And somebody clip that.
Yeah. Definitely.
I've never seen that many ones in
Wow.
that short a period of time.
Seriously.
Who knew a 3 would be the highest?
Oh my god.
It's 3 times as good as the next best result. Could hide. Especially if it was that loud. Is there a spot to hide?
I mean, you could try to find a place like among the rocks. You're kind of in like an open area. There's a boat like on the water right over there. You could also, I mean, you could try to go back to the water and see if you could like loop around like somewhere, or just put the rocks on top of you. There's options, but nothing is great as far as just hiding.
What is Echo, Melly, and Mac doing?
I think, like, if it's not very clear that there's a place to hide, I think Echo's next priority would be looking for another way up the cliffside that's not just climbing a sheer face.
Yeah, to see if there was any type of either, even a somewhat of a path or like trail up that you can kind of see has been used, if there is any such thing, even if it like slightly further down the beaches either way.
A little bit off to the right, you see that there might be like some sort of path up, but it's probably going to take longer to get up there. But you could do it for sure.
Okay, does Isla...
Echo would relay that if it wasn't already.
Does Isla see them, anybody coming to investigate?
She sees that they've kind of like stopped in their tracks and just all kind of looked over towards your direction. And if you're taking the time to like look through Isla's eyes now, like the hobgoblin is like making noises and like pointing out specific areas and everything, and they're doing something.
They're going to investigate. We should move. So
There's a way up over here.
Yeah.
I would take off running towards the way up.
Yeah.
Echo would be right up next to him.
All right.
I think Vale would lag behind a little bit, making sure everyone is in front of him. And then he would cast Minor Illusion. 30 feet in the opposite direction of us. It's got 30-foot range. He would just recreate the sound of more rocks stumbling specifically away from where we're heading.
Okay.
And then head off to follow. I feel like this is like Marco Polo, and you're just like splashing water on this side before you go the other direction.
Yeah, right. That's fishy out of water.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah. So you.
it's a quick little gesture. It's just somatic. A little bit of fleece.
Yeah. So I mean, you hear the noise, and Jake, you could probably turn off the Spotify music at this point.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have it pulled up. Otherwise, I would.
I got you.
So you. Jesus, man. So you continue up the way, and let's have everybody just roll initiative just to have that.
Okay. I think I got a 19 for Vale.
18.
14.
5.
19, 18, 14, 5. Or sorry, who was 18?
Echo.
Okay. And Mac was 14. Matthew was 5. Right. Okay. So you continue on up, and when you get to kind of like where this path ends, you can pull up the battle map section, and I'll share this map with you.
Sounds good. I don't know if
Do
you
you
have.
hear?
No, I was gonna say I don't have music or sound. If you had meant to have that going.
I pressed play.
It didn't work. At least on my end. I hear something.
Okay. Well.
A
Yeah.
Wind.
We'll just be quiet for
Sometimes Sirenscape takes a moment.
just a little bit of time. Because don't you worry, we'll have sound soon. So where would everyone like to be? I guess you're coming down from that from the top left section, and when you arrive towards this little small like makeshift camp area, is empty.
I think Vale would have been towards the back. We're all different sizes.
So, based on this map, where would be the cliff that they probably would have gone towards?
So you came from that same area, so the cliff that you like started off on,
Mm-hmm.
you're like you have since passed that spot. You kind of just took the long way up to get to that spot, if that makes sense.
Okay. And we don't, or I don't see them anywhere.
You don't see them anywhere.
I would probably, once we got to this point, I would probably switch to a more stealthier approach as opposed to running full out like I was trying to get to the path from the beach.
Okay.
And I would probably, I don't know what this thing is, but I would probably hide behind this and kind of like peer out and see if I can see anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're able to look through and you see that there's like kind of like a center to this town where there's all this like wood piled up where they probably would do like a big fire. And you know, there is fire coming from like a lot of these tents are actually there's fire on them and smoke rising from them. And you do see like various footprints all over the place, nothing really leading in any sort of direction. But yeah.
I'm going to continue on, but if anyone else wants to move also, I don't know what everyone else would be doing while I'm doing this, because obviously this wouldn't be something that would be instantaneous.
Before anyone gets too far away, Melly's gonna go ahead and cast aid on her 3 people at 2nd level. So y'all got some extra hit
Plus
points.
10?
Yep, that's right, plus 10.
Oh.
So
Who'd you put it on?
Echo, Vale, and Mac.
Nice.
That is nice. Here, have 10 extra actual hit points. It's not temporary. You can heal back.
Yep, for 8 whole hours. I feel like that should just be something we do in the morning, every day. Every day, you guys get 8. Never know what's gonna come up.
Not a bad idea.
All right. Carrick kind of just he is first in initiative. He kind of just steps over along the edge like this and just is kind of looking around, and he's just gonna say, "Everyone, be careful. It's the tribes in the mountains are very crafty." Vale, you would be next in initiative.
Okay. Mac is searching that one tent right there.
Are you searching the tent, Mac? Is that what
he
you
went.
did?
I'm sorry, he went to that direction. I'm just thinking out loud. He's just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's gonna go right there, and he's just gonna ready in action. If he sees anybody take some kind of threatening action, whether it's attacking or casting a spell against somebody in the group, he's going to shoot his bow at them.
Okay. Echo.
And he's done.
Echo is going to let's see how many spaces I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Echo is going to actually circle around the back of the tent here on the western side, and using exactly the 40 feet of movement that he gets, will get himself behind over here. He's kind of, he's walking low, trying to be pretty quiet about it, and as he is doing that, he pulls the staff off of his back and looks at it for a second, and then just kind of grips it tight and just feels it like fall into place.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Something quick. All right. Now Teddy goes. He's just gonna kind of pop back in. He'll actually just take his full movement. No, well, not full movement, but he kind of dashes and walks towards like the middle area, just trying to see what's going on. He's like, "These little bastards aren't gonna hide from me." And
Does
he's
he have
just
a weapon?
you see he has actually a great axe in his hand, and you just see him just kind of his eyes just kind of get like bloodshot for a second. He's just like, "Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna make you pay when if you're gonna make me come and find you." And yeah, that'll be his turn. And Mac, it's you.
All right. So I am going to head down. 2, 3. Oops. 6, 7. And then I am going to then take my bonus action to move some more. 6. And I'm going to end my turn there.
Yeah, Melly.
Oh my gosh. All right. I guess for now she's just gonna move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess to there. She doesn't want to be out in front, so that I guess that's that.
Okay. Seems like nothing is happening just yet. Um, Eric actually just kind of holds his position there, and you see he's got his bow out, and he's just like looking around. Vale,
I have a question.
sure.
Can Melly see Mac from where she is? Or I'm assuming he's being stealthy, but she knew the path that like she saw him go behind the tent. Can she see him? Like,
There's some like smoke around that kind of makes it hazy, but you could you could you could see him like not clearly, but like you could see where he is.
okay. That was all. Melly just doesn't like not being able to see her people. So,
Okay, sure.
especially Mac.
And that's like a totem or something.
Yeah,
Is there?
yeah, just like a little wooden post.
I think you have Vale set as a small creature, but he's gonna move 1, 2, and then I think if he could squeeze in between here. If you let him go there, so that he's gonna try and be near Melly, but if you want me to back up a little bit, I will.
Um,
Like that.
sure.
I can move if you're not comfortable with that.
No, that's fine. It's gonna be like so if there was like a creature like here, it's gonna be hard to hit it. You know what I mean? Um,
Uh, all right. I guess. All right, he's gonna come down here, kind of by the corner of the tent.
okay.
instead. And he'll do the same, ready in action to, if he sees someone take an aggressive action on the group, he'll shoot them.
Okay. And you're like kind of looking at like the air, you're trying to scope out the area from like say Melly to the tent that's directly like on the other side of you.
Yeah, he just knows his brother went that way, so he's trying to form like a crossing lane to be able
Perfect.
to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So after you go, do we have sound now?
Yes.
I don't think I like this sound. That's the problem with Sirenscape, man. Sometimes you do battle and it's great. Sometimes you do battle noises and it's not so great. Hold on.
Is there a big like ogre or something coming? That's what I thought of thinking.
Oh boy. I guess we should just just do it. It's fine. Alright. No ogre, but from the tent behind you, the goblin pops out. And from the from the space behind this area, another goblin comes out. From inside this tent, a goblin comes out. And goblin walks out here. Vale, at this moment when a goblin comes out in this area, when the hobgoblin walks out, you would be able to make an attack on him
By
if
Teddy.
you want. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Alright, 12 plus 10, 22.
22? That's a hit.
Yes, sir. That is 11 piercing damage. Non-magical.
All right. Non-magical?
Correct. Well, unless the bow itself is making it magical, then okay.
It's a +1.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's just old edition swimming in my head there. Use a regular arrow.
Okay. All right. You said 11?
11 damage, yeah. Piercing.
Yeah. As soon as he walks out, just with an arrow and just drops dead. And I just really don't like this music.
I could always just use the other stuff.
Alright. Oh boy. Okay. Alright. So, that dude is down. Another hobgoblin pops out right over here. And who else had ready to attack actions aside from Carrick? Did anyone else have ready to attack actions?
I think it was just me.
Okay. Mac, did you ready an attack? Because I know you used your bonus action. I don't know if you used your action.
I didn't say it, so
Okay. That's fine. So this hobgoblin over here is going to 5, 10, 15, 1. Off right over here, and Carrick is going to make an attack on him. Jesus. Are we cool with this music, or do you want to use the other stuff?
Like testing stuff first, so I want to use the other stuff.
I also want to use the other stuff. I know. Yeah, go for
The
it.
music is fine. It's fine. Okay. We'll get that set up.
Sorry.
It's all good.
There's so much good stuff on there, but we
Oh,
really
yeah.
need to find it first before we just use it. So sorry about that, guys.
We're good.
Mr. Hobgoblin pops out. Ooh, what is this? I can't spell hobgoblin. I spelled hogboblin.
A much worse, fearsome beast.
You've probably never heard of it. As this creature just runs out, Carrick is going to make an attack, and that is a actions. That is a 25 to hit,
Get him.
which is a hit, and he's gonna roll some damage now.
Damash. Some Joe Damasio.
Gonna be 7 piercing into the hobgoblin's side, and he'll just kind of like, and he kind of looks over to Carrick, kind of with like a crazed look in his eyes, almost with like a I'll get you next. And he will go right up to our dwarven friend over here with a great sword in his hands, and he's gonna try to hit him. And I rolled damage instead of an attack. Jeez, we haven't played in a while, huh? First attack is a 4. That's a miss. Second attack, 17, as he just goes to hit him. And it slashes like right across Teddy's shoulder, and you see him just kind of like, and that will deal 10 slashing damage, reduced to 5. Okay.
Barbarians
And-
are beefy.
Teddy's just got like this crazed look in his eyes too, and he just matches the hobgoblin's gaze, and he's just like, "Hey, you're gonna have to do better than that if you want to take me down." And then we have some other goblins to keep track of, don't we? So this dude over here, I'll pop back out, and he pulls out a scimitar, and he's going to attempt to make an attack on Melly, which is a 16.
That hits.
He will deal a whopping 3 slashing damage.
Whoop, whoop.
And he'll hang out there for now. This one pops out from the side and pulls out his short bow, and he's going to try to attack Echo, which is a 12.
That will miss.
Fires right past and misses. Other goblin friend nearest Echo, Mac, will walk right up to him, try to attack him with a scimitar. That is
So,
Hey,
before you roll that, I am just gonna ask. I was sneaking the entire time. I don't know if that makes a difference. If you want to say that he saw or knew that I was there, that's fine. But I did specify that. Now, again, you didn't make me roll any stealth checks or anything. But
so
you
you
want to say that he was looking out at the tent and I ran by and just that's it. That's fine. But
they were expecting you and watching. Otherwise, I would have had you roll, and we would have figured
understand
that out.
Okay.
So that was a 14 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. and that will do 8 slashing damage.
I will use my reaction for uncanny dodge and half that.
It's almost like
Nice.
rogues are barbarians too, in a way.
They kind of are.
That's kind of cool.
And that one right over here, and 2 more right over there. All right, these guys are. One of them is going to make an attack at Teddy, just an 18, and he will deal 5 piercing damage. Okay, and the next one, 17, 4 piercing damage. And the last one is going for Carrick. And that one is a 13, which is a miss, as it just fires right past. And after all that, that'll bring us to Echo.
Okay. As the arrow flies past Echo's head, he spins to see the goblin, and then taking his staff and running 10 feet forward, he spins the staff around his back, spins himself around to gain some momentum, grabs the staff by the end of it with both hands, and swings with the full reach to hit that goblin down to his lower left
All right.
with his now 10-foot reach. So that would be a dirty 20, 12
That's-
plus 8.
That's a hit.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and that I get my D8 back because versatile, and I'm two-handing the staff, and it didn't matter because I rolled a 3. But that's still 8 magical bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Yeah. How would you like to do that? Aside from how you just described how you do that.
What is that that's next to him? That's like canoes and stuff that are all like pulled up on shore?
It's like it's actually just like a pile of like firewood.
Oh, okay.
I know it looks like canoes, but that's
Yeah. I think it's just exactly that. He spins around and just he clocks him in the head so hard that he like topples into the firewood. That's basically all.
And the firewood just starts to like it's like it tumbles down. It's like a pile, and it after he smacks into it, a bunch of it gets knocked down, and he's just laying there in a pile of firewood.
Sweet. So after that, he'll spin so Melly got hit, right?
Melly got hit.
Would she have made an ouchie noise at that?
Would she have made an ouchie noise?
I guess. I mean, it was only 3 points of damage, but she's not used to taking damage, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think he would then have heard and reacted to that and spun on his heels and ran up that way. So I moved 10 feet. So that's 15, 20, 25. He'll run right up to this guy and just kind of like flying kick at him as he's doing the run. So I'll use my bonus action to do my... Actually, you know what? Now I'll hit him with the staff. I may as well do it in the way that makes sense. So yeah, I'll run up and hit him with the staff.
Okay.
Assuming this would not be with advantage, right? Because we're not like really flanking.
No, it would not be with advantage.
Okay, that's still an 18.
All right, that's still a hit.
Okay.
I bet you're gonna kill it too.
That's an 11. That's 11 damage.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah. So he just runs real close and just with both hands just like smacks him, like hits him with the staff straight on. Like doesn't swing it, just like cracks him right in the nose.
Nice. Yeah,
Pushing it right into him.
and there's like a crunch as it hits the nose and breaks.
Oof. All right, so that was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Not fast enough. Let's see. What else can I do? 30, 35, 40. Yeah, there's not much else I'll be able to do. So 30, 35, 40. And I guess he'll just wait there. Because I've got some stuff I could do with bonus actions, but I don't think... I don't know if I want to spend the key for it. Well, actually, you know what? Feeling a little more invigorated by the staff. Because, as you have detailed to me, Owen's Staff of the Wilds grants me an additional key point, which is extremely cool. So, he will... as he stops, he just seems like a little bit more alert, and there's this soft glow around his like hands and feet. And I'll take the dodge action as a bonus action.
Nice. All right. Hell yeah. That will bring us to Mr. Theodore. And he's just gonna say, "All right, you big bastard. Now it's my turn." And his great axe is like dragging on the ground, and he's just gonna swing it up wildly. And
Respect.
that is a 19 to hit, which hits. So, hey Jake, what's the damage die for a great axe?
That's a D12, my friend.
Oh,
Not 2d6s?
not
Nope,
two
that's what the
D6s.
hobgoblin's dealing if he hits.
And he will do 15 slashing damage
Honk.
to Mr. Hobgoblin. And he just has this wild look in his eyes. And he's like, "That's right. I can hit too." And that will just kind of end his turn there. And that brings us to Mac.
I'm gonna try to stabby stab the guy next to me.
Nice. Nice.
Let's see how nice. That is a 15 to hit.
That, I believe, is a hit. That's a hit.
Actually, yeah, 15. Sorry. All right, and that is 5 piercing damage.
All right. Yeah, 5 piercing damage. He's still up, but this thing is like, it's like, and like he's hurting.
And then I'm gonna do a Mac thing, and I'm gonna run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to dash, and then 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna end my turn right here.
Nice.
Stab and run, stab and run.
Just getting ready for the surprise, mother.
That's right, because you have mobile, he can't get you. That's
Correct.
beautiful. Beautiful.
And that ends my turn.
Nice. And Melly.
Oh golly. Oh golly, I don't know what I want to do. I was thinking about it, and then what I wanted to do, I don't need to do anymore. So, I know Mac got hurt. Let's go ahead. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna go. Oh, you know what? You're all right here. I'm gonna go ahead and bless y'all. Because you're right there. Not that you really need it, but here we
Bless up.
go. And I'm actually gonna cast that at a higher level. I'm gonna go ahead and get Teddy in that too. So we're gonna do that at second level.
Nice.
So
Teddy's
that's
gonna like that.
yeah. So Teddy, Echo, Vale, and Mac. I'm in range with everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then is that what I want to do? Okay, so that's my action, and then hold on, I have to read something real quick. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do meta magic. I'm gonna quicken it and make it a bonus action, and then for my action, I'm gonna take the dodge action.
Okay.
Love that.
So
Nice.
yeah, and I'm just gonna stay right where I am because I can see everybody and I'm happy.
Perfect. Exactly where you want to be for a battlefield controller. Or a buffer. Buffer? Buffer. Yeah.
Both.
All right. Yeah. So after you finish up, it is Carrick's turn. And he will kind of step forward and you see him. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Let's see. You hear him like kind of like chant something quickly, like to himself. If you're listening closely, you hear it. And then he pulls out his bow, and first he makes an attack at the goblin. This one. And let's see what he gets. And the chant was he was doing Hunter's Mark, so he casted Hunter's Mark. He's officially a ranger, guys. I did it. I didn't have a character, so I made one.
There you go.
And that is a 19 to hit. So where the hell's my D8? All right, there it is. So he will do 8 plus 6. 6 was the Hunter's Mark. He will do 14 piercing damage and just wreck that goblin right there. He'll take another couple steps forward and take a shot at Mr. Hobgoblin over here. And that is a 24. And he will deal, let's see, 7 plus 5, 12 plus 5 is 17, plus another d8 for Colossus Slayer. Just one. He's going to deal 18
Heyo.
piercing damage to homie over here.
Hunter confirmed.
But of course. Let's see. And I think that's all he could do. Yeah. He's only got 2 attacks. That's it. All right. So yeah, he just kind of stands there, ready. And it's Vale's turn.
All right, so that hobgoblin that's just got shot and is fighting Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
How does he look?
Like bloodied, if we're talking 4th edition.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think Vale could see the other goblins in the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think Vale would be as concerned with that hobgoblin seeing how much damage he's taken plus Teddy plus Echo is right there. So he's gonna shoot the goblin on the bottom. There.
All right.
Natural 20. Not sure
That-
we need.
The one like straight ahead on the bottom, or like
Uh,
bottom, the one that Max just attacked.
I'm sorry. The one I'll just move him back once. Little half space there. This guy.
Okay, yeah, that's who I thought.
Uh,
Yeah, how would you like to do
I was gonna
that?
say I don't
I
even
mean,
think I have to roll this, but
You,
let's have
you
some
can if
fun.
you want to, just to yeah.
Because that's 15, 17 plus 5 is 22 piercing damage.
Nice.
I think he just clean through the neck, just whoop, like goes right through.
You said 22 piercing damage.
Yeah.
Was that using your piercer critical hit extra damage die too?
Yeah. So it's
Alright,
3d8
okay.
for that one.
Yeah, I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Nice.
The arrow goes. I feel like the arrow would go like right over Echo's head.
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry about it, Echo. I got you. And actually, I don't know if he can see that one, so the tent might be in the way. Unless you're saying I can see through it, I don't know.
You wouldn't be able to see through the tent now.
Okay. I think.
I mean, plenty of room to get it in your view, but
Yeah, we go 1, 2, 3, and I think I could probably see the goblin that Mac was engaged with before.
yeah, you could see it.
He'll take a second shot there. That's 21 plus 2, 23 to hit.
That's a hit.
Max damage, that is 13 piercing.
Well, it had 2 hit points left, so you got it.
Okay. Yeah, just probably in the stomach somewhere. Just buckle him over.
All right. Nice.
Let's see if there's anybody else on the battlefield. I don't think he sees them. I think he's just gonna stay where he is.
Okay.
That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. So goblins will go, and this guy will kind of take a step forward, and another one will pop up behind him out of that tent, and they'll kind of run straight for Carrick. Let's see, we got 10, 15, 20, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And they're both gonna go right up to Carrick, try to make some attacks. And the first one is a 5, which will miss. The second one is a 16, which I believe just hits. That just hits. And just makes a quick little swipe at him with the scimitar, and you see it catches right on one of the little studs on his leather armor and makes like a clink sound, and as it hits it. Mr. Hobgoblin over here is pierced, and he just makes an attack over at our berserker friends, and that is going to be a 15, which is a miss. Nope. 15 is a hit. It does. I have way too many tabs open. Okay, that's going to be 9 piercing damage with the great sword. And he's going to go in for another attack. And this one is a 17, which will be actually another 9 points of piercing damage. And all of that will go down to exactly 9 points of damage for our friend. Because reasons. And that is the goblin's turn. It's now Echo.
Okay. Echo is going to run at the hoblin, and he's gonna kick him. He's gonna kick him as he runs up at him.
Yeah.
He's gonna do a kick at him. I'm gonna spend a key to make this a flurry, so there will be 2 attacks, and we will see how that goes. So let's see. That is 6. It's not great. 16.
16? That's a hit.
That's a hit. Cool. So
Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Mr. Hoblin.
Yeah, sorry. 16 is not a hit.
Okay. All right. So he will follow up and do it again. Okay, that's a lot better. That's a 19.
It's a hit.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to impose an inability to take reactions as part of my Way of the Open Hand. And I will deal 9 magical bludgeoning damage.
Yeah. How would you like to do that?
Like, what is it that he does?
Like, kill him.
Oh, he's dead?
Yeah.
The hobgoblin?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I hate this because the intent was for him to kick him in the leg. Like, the imposition of making his reaction, null and void was like to disable his ability to move for a second.
Hey, if
But
you
I
want to
think
do that, give him another.
Well, this is what I'm saying. What I think happens instead is that Echo's feeling a lot more like that like scary bit of himself is coming out in this.
Okay.
And I think he kicks his knee, and then his knee goes the wrong way, and the hobgoblin probably doesn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah, after that happens, he kind of just drops down to the ground immediately, unable to stand.
I don't like that. Echo probably isn't going to like that he did that, but he's pretty intense right now. All right, but he will run up toward the other gobbles. Another 5, 10.
Echo gets
15?
upset and gives away this new super cool staff. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But he will attack the first goblin right next to Carrick with his staff. 15, 16, plus 8 is 24. So
Yeah, that's a hit.
24.
That's a hit.
And max damage, which is 13 magical bludgeoning.
Got him.
And then he'll follow up again to hit this other fellow as well.
All right.
7, 10, 18.
That's a hit.
Okay. Almost max damage. 7 plus 5 is 12.
Yep. You have cleared out the battlefield.
That's what Echo do. And I think then he just kind of spins on his heels to face back toward the rest of the buildings and kind of holds his weapon up in a defensive sort of way. And yeah, I will end my turn, assuming that there are turns to end.
Yeah, I mean, we could drop initiative because that's you did it. That's
Neat.
I know, goblins, easy peasy, but they're the creatures that live in this part of the Flut kit. So you kind of look around and see that nothing is coming out of any of the tents, and everything that was at one point fighting on the battlefield is now either dead or incapacitated.
Does the camp look the way that it was described, where it doesn't look like a goblin camp? It's like more put together than that,
More put together than that.
but it's also kind of pillaged and on fire.
Mhm.
Okay, because I think that would be the first thing on Echo's mind after like a couple deep like battle adrenaline breaths, and then a moment of clarity. Like I kind of did that without thinking, and just starts like looking around just to make sure that it was what he thought it was.
Mhm.
I don't think he would say anything while he's doing that, but maybe he would like peek into the tent that he's right next to, or something similar, just to kind of get his bearings.
Yeah.
That's it. And just look around a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, looking around, you see that this was probably some sort of just like small fishing community, something along those lines, and there you don't find any survivors.
Okay. Seeing how this is pretty close and on the way home. I know you said it's kind of nomadic looking, but would Vale have any idea as to who this might be? Like what group of people or anything like that?
You could roll like a history check.
It's pretty good. Dirty 20.
Yeah, so you would know that like it's not necessarily like a specific group of people, but there are a lot of people that will try to like set up camps like this and just you know, whether they're out for like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or, you know, whatever, they'll try to just gather supplies, whether that be fishing or hunting or foraging or whatever. You know, the Flatfoot Alps is like it's a very it's not an easy place to live unless you're in the city like Uthadurn, but the only reason a place like Uthadurn is easy to live is because other people go out and forage and find goods to bring back to the rest of the city.
Okay.
And Carrick will kind of walk through and just say, "It is a shame that this happened, but I don't. There is a strong possibility that there were not many here to begin with. Places like this, sometimes they leave the campsites up and the tents up, but this is not fishing season. So there could have been some people desperate and hoping to find something, but I would hope at least it wasn't a large group."
Do you recognize these markings? Gestures to the goblins.
Yes, it's the same bastards who have been plaguing our surrounding areas for quite some time.
And they normally have hobgoblins with them.
It is not uncommon for them to have hobgoblins with them.
Usually
Not
more
always.
organized that way.
Yes, well, sometimes they need a tougher, stronger ally to keep them in line and make sure they fight to the end. Otherwise, most of the time a goblin will just run away, left on its own. Not usually problems unless they travel in packs or with stronger creatures.
That's true. I think at this point, Val would just be searching the hobgoblin for anything of use, and he said he had a great sword.
Yeah, there's a hobgoblin had a great sword. There's like really like crappy shields on the goblins. Some daggers, some like scimitars, but like none of it is like. If you're looking for something like to take and sell, there's not really any value to them. Like they're all like kind of crude weapons. Many of them made out of bone. You are able to gather 12 like bone-tipped arrows.
Okay. So I can add that.
Mm-hmm.
After the bodies are searched, Melly will start, like stacking them. So like we could discard of them in a fire or whatever manner everyone feels comfortable with.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And then if there were any, I guess other bodies of like dwarves or elves or humans. I know you said we didn't find any survivors, but if there were people who perished, Melly would have tried to bury them. I don't know if she'd make it very far because I think the ground might be frozen, but the effort would be made.
The ground is very frozen, and you only find one body. Appears to be human and is not in great condition. Like you see, he's missing a chunk right up top, and there's like it almost looks like bite marks on him too.
Like that's what took a piece of his head out?
Well, the piece of his head out was he is missing his scalp.
It's the scalp from the
I
first
gotcha.
goblin's
Yep.
bag.
I'm listening.
Well, it looks like this person may have succumbed to the elements rather than succumbing to the enemy, but maybe we can just stack rock. We can't seem to be able to get through the ground right now.
Fine, I think. Val would just start helping Melly with whatever she was doing.
Yeah, Carrick and Teddy would also help, and they don't say anything, but you could tell that they both appreciate the respect for the dead that you have. The respect that you have for the dead. After maybe 10, 15 minutes, something like that, you feel you feel satisfied with the burial that you've made for this person, and if you're ready to, you'd be able to move out.
Can't think of another thing or reason to stay, unless you guys do. Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Wahoo!
Nice. Yeah, so as you start to head back, you get to that area where you were like right up top and like elevated for a bit, and right where Carrick took the first shot at the goblin. And you're able to get like a nice view of like the mountainside and then that whole area, and you see just flying way off into the distance, just a dragon that almost blends in with the snowy mountains themselves, and it just kind of circles over by on one of the mountains overhead.
How common a sight is that?
I'd say you've probably never seen one before. You know that they exist and that they're out here, but like it's probably uncommon. Most people probably haven't seen a dragon before.
Yeah, I think Echo's just like mouth agape. Just wordless.
Best not to linger.
Oh. We're only about an hour or so away on foot from the gates. If we go quick, we should be able to make it there before nightfall.
We should probably make haste.
Yes, agreed. And how, might be hard to tell, but how big does the dragon look? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, it's far away, but it looks pretty big, pretty huge. But as you travel down for a while through these mountain passageways, and just kind of sometimes you're going up on a staircase on the side of the mountain, sometimes you're just going through these paths, and then you get to an area where you start to slope downward, and as you slope downward, you look and you see these watchtowers built into the mountainside itself. And as you look forward, you see this massive gate ahead of you, and you know that you've made it to Earthadern, and we'll pick up there next week because it's kind of late.
Oh baby. I would never have guessed that we would be in Earthadern at the end of this episode.
Yeah,
That was the opposite of what we all talked about.
I mean, obviously I knew there was a possibility, but I wasn't sure what you guys were gonna do. Yeah, got some fun times ahead. Lots of decisions to be made and whatnot. But yeah, probably we'll do questions another time, I think, because it's already 10:43. But everybody, we're happy to be back. We will be here again next week, and if you want to catch up, just hop over to Spotify and search Rare Drop Roleplay, and then all the past little audio bites will be there. You'll be able to listen to those at your leisure. If this is your first time here and you've never heard of J&J Tabletop, do command J&J, that's !J&J. It'll take you to our link tree, where you can find all of the things, including but not limited to youtube.com/J&J Tabletop, where we record videos and post them every Wednesday. And And yeah, if you guys want to hang out with us, pop over to the link tree, join our Discord, and let's talk about all the things. Any questions? We could talk about it there, talk about it on Twitter, talk about it in the comments, whatever. So yeah, it was great to see you all again today. Hope you had fun.
Yeah.
And we got some wild times ahead. So we'll see you soon. Be safe. Be excellent to each other. Be kind. And, don't forget to tip your waitress. So we'll see you next time.